Hey there, Captains. It's Reiem again with the last Vassal World Cup pod report game for this year's Vassal Cup, covering the third and final match played in pods. I'm going to go over my list again quick, just in case other people haven't seen the other videos. But we have a Venator II with Captain Zak, Veteran Gunners, SPHA-T, Electronic Countermeasures, External Racks, Linked Turbolaser Towers, and Tranquility. My flagship is a Venator I with Organa, GAllia, Boarding Troopers, Intensify Firepower, External Racks, Linked Turbolaser Towers, and Resolute. Then we have a pair of Pelta transports, both with projection experts, one with parts resupply, one with munitions resupply, and one having Hondo Ohnaka. My opponent for the week, or for the final game, was TheRealNeal99. I'm just going to call him Neal. Running Akbar on an assault frigate Mark II-B with Intel Officer, Kaken and Sholin, electronic countermeasures, and slaved turrets. So, very, fairly tanky ship with electronic countermeasures and a lot of damage potential, especially with Intel Officer. The other haymaker in this fleet is this MC-30 scout frigate with Intel Officer, Ordnance Experts, External Racks, Turbolaser reroute circuits, and the Foresight title. Rounding out the fleet, we have a pair of CR-90As, both with the reroute circuits, one having Jaina's Light. There's a GR-75 Sabine Wren. I love this tech card. Find it just so fun to use. And Comstant. And then a pair of squads, Tycho and Shara, just to mess with any squad shenanigans opponent might have. So that was the fleet I faced for the week. As you can see, I have a higher bid at 395. So I will get to choose how this plays out. In fact, I thought he had 399. I might have missed something in the fleet here. I don't think I did though. Anyway, we will get to the game itself. So I did have choice. I chose to go first. I guess just as a little bit of primer for this game, it's the last game, and all the other games in the pod have been played, so I know what I need to score in order to make it into Swiss. I need a 9-2 or like essentially 4 points short of a 9-2. So somehow I need to come up with like 220 points. Looking at his list, if I killed his assault frigate and the MC-30, which is off the table at the moment, and didn't lose anything, I could do it. If I lose like a Pelta, then I have to add like a CR-90 and a Gazanti into the mix, or not Gazanti, a GR-75 into the mix. And if I lose a Venator, I basically have to table. So it's kind of a tough order, especially with Akbar. My fleet doesn't like fleets that are really kitey, and that's what Akbar wants to do. So I know going into this match it's going to be a tough time, and choosing first, because I know with some of the way that these units are so kitey, the only way that I'm going to have really good damage potentials is if I can get like a SPHA-T shot on the opening as the first activation in a round. Like that's going to be my main damage dealer, unless I can shove one of these Venators in front of something and force it to fight. So I picked first for that reason. Even though I have a severe deployment disadvantage, I basically have everything down, and he has just down the GR-75, the 2 squads, and 1 CR-90, and I'm fully deployed. So I deployed very cautiously. The MC-30, you can see, isn't on the table. That's because we're playing Hyperspace Assault. That's why we have these objective tokens. And these came down before the fleet, so knowing the math, I really didn't want to feed him the Peltas with the MC-30, because that MC-30 could definitely munch on a Pelta in a round, especially if it gets a accuracy or two. So I'm kind of running a nice little formation here while I have the Venators on the outside. So that way, if he does drop in close, it's going to have to be on a Venator at close range, and with the X-Racks and Confire dials I'm going to be running, I can at least hit the MC30 pretty good once at close before it will get to activate. And the Peltas are going to be running up the middle, just so it's hard for him to get the MC30 on it, and I'll make sure that they're in range of projection experts, and they might get some chip damage in. As far as movements were planned out, Akbar is the classic kitey, fly around you in circles, so I knew it was going to be like a hard turn to left with all of my ships. Try and cut them off, so lots of speed 3 using these extra nav dials from Bale. I should point out this is the flagship here with Bale on it. This is the SPHA-T. And then just trying to get in there and kill things before I get killed. And hopefully having him focus, either split focus or like focus Tranquility. Because with the Intel officers, Tranquility can at least help you stay alive a little bit longer because you're taking full advantage of your shields even after you start losing defense tokens. Tranquility also has ECMs, so if there is a really bad attack from like the assault frigate with like 10, 12 damage, I can at least for sure brace, even if I'm going to lose it to Intel officer. So this was the initial plan for the game, subject to change because I don't know where the 30 is going to come. The 30 could come here and try and attack Bale if that's the target. Or honestly, this token could be like pushed ahead or pushed into my formation and just really mess me up. So this wasn't a great outlook, but I thought there was maybe a chance we could do something here. So we'll go to the end of round 1. This is the end of round 1. As you can see, Akbar is flying down, staying just at long range. These two CR90s. This one especially is just in range at long of Bale. Nothing else is in range. Squads come down. I'm coming up. I'm starting my turn. The problem I am seeing at this point is that Bale is going to, at this point, be hit by these two CR90s. And then due to the activation order of things, I'm going to have, he is going to get to go last, Neal is. Which means if Neal wants, Neal can shoot with a CR90, shoot with a CR90, wait till I fly in, and then shoot with the assault frigate. That seems pretty terrible. Bale's ship with no ECM, no Tranquility is going to have trouble tanking all that. So my options were I can move Bale in and try and get over here with like a nav dial and like get out of the side arc at least of the CR90 and just be in like the front arc, but then definitely be like committed to the side arc of the assault frigate. I do have a shot. I could do 3 dice here, so it wouldn't be a completely wasted activation. My other option here is I could go in with this Tranquility. It has no shots. I can't really do anything of consequence other than it can land up here and just threaten these, like put a SPHA-T token down, and maybe I just draw like a big bullseye on it, which would be fine with me because this Pelta and this Pelta would be both in range of this Venator, which would help keep it alive, Tranquility, keeping those shields up. It would put it under a lot of fire, but this can handle it versus Bale, who really can't. So that's what I'm thinking for activation order. I'll probably go with this first, try and draw a target on myself here with this. Of course, this is all subject to change based on whether this MC30 drops in. If the MC30 drops in like right here or like right here, out the front of this one or out the side here, if that MC30 drops out the front, I will have to go first with this. But let us proceed onward. So yes, the MC30 did not come down. And here is the Speed 3 Tranquility came in. Neal did use Sabine Wren at the top of the round, put a proximity mine down. So when I land, I actually trigger the mine. I take 2 damage, but I do clip the station, so I heal 1. And as you can see, Tranquility is now doing its job. It's got a big target on it. It's down a hull, so it's very incentivizing. And also, Akbar has a shot already on it. So if Neal doesn't realize that this Venator is going to fly into Akbar range anyway, this could make this Venator a very, very interesting target. So we'll see how we end here at the round. So at the end of the round, now this Venator is still here. It has no shields in the front anymore, no shields out the side, 1 shield on this side and none on the rear, and it's down a hull. So it tanked a lot of damage this round, and that's even through Pelta's healing it. Actually, it might have no, it's 0 shields on the front. So a lot of damage up here. However, it's got a great SPHA-T shot on this CR90, who has the side shields missing. Bale moved into a great position here. It's got this nice side shot on the CR90, as well as threatening whatever can fly in here. And the Peltas are coming up. They can start turning in because Neal is going to start flying around me. These can turn in and attempt to get some chip damage in throughout the game. So activation for the round ahead, I'm thinking this Venator first. I can grab a Bale Engineering dial, heal, maybe pick on this Gazanti, and then obviously spat the CR90. But we will see if the MC30 comes in. And the MC30 did come in. Interestingly, Neal dumped the MC30 right on the asteroid field, which made it so that Bale's Venator up here had obstructed rear and side shots into this. And this Tranquility had obstructed because of the Pelta side shot into the MC30. So I was kind of left with some decisions here. I could obviously go with Bale first and just fly out of range of the black dice on the side shot of this MC30. And maybe do some chip damage. My front won't be doing a lot. I did Hondo Ohnaka to get a squad token, so I do have boarding troopers. So boarding troopers here could hurt. But given how weak Tranquility already was, I didn't want to let the shot happen for free, at least without getting like engineering. And so I'm actually going to opt to go with Tranquility first, try and kill this CR90 with this SPHA-T. And then we have X-Rax, we have a Confire dial, we have a Clone Captain Zak. We can still throw like 6 dice, 5-6 dice at this MC30 and at least start stripping the shields off of it. Because once we get the shields off, the salvos are going to be pretty deadly here to this MC30. And the other thing I realized is the MC30 actually doesn't want to go right away, I don't think. Because at speed 2, I'm pretty sure this MC30, if it goes first, first for Neal's activations, is going to ram and land back on the asteroid, which will like half health it. And depending on what that asteroid is, it could really cripple it. So I actually don't think Neal's going to go with this MC30 right away. I think I'll have some time to reposition myself. I'm guessing he'll go with one of the CR90s. Hopefully this one, as this one's dead. Or Akbar up here. But I don't think this will go. I think Neal's actually going to wait until this Venator moves out. So I decided to go with the Venator first. This is my shot against the CR90 with SPHA-T. I had this exact same roll basically, except this black was blank, and then I veteran gunners because I just needed 1 accuracy to stop the redirect to the front, because at that point the front had 2 shields. So I have veteran gunners. I get the same roll. The black was blank again, so I had to use Intensify Firepower to set it to a hit. And the CR90 lives at 1. So that was pretty bad. So I actually have to go in and I have to ram with this Venator. I just get it. It was super close on the table, so we actually had the roll blue dice. You know, hits, it's a ram, hits, it's or accuracy, or crit, it's not a ram. We rolled hits, so it was a ram, so we killed it. And then we do this side shot on the MC30. I think we did like 7 damage to it. We stripped, no, 5 damage to it after reroll. So we stripped a lot of shields off. Which is basically the best that I could ask for here. Unfortunately, because I rammed, this Venator ends up like back over here, still in the close side shot for this MC30. So this is the end of the round. Just kind of highlight what happened here. The MC30 went after the CR90. Or one of these two went first, and they just started throwing shots into Tranquility, trying to weaken it. The MC30 finally went. I killed it with salvos as it shot this Venator and then this Venator. This Venator at the end of the match, or at the end of the round, you can see is very low. We're sitting on 2 shields, 1 hull. I do have a SPHA-T, so I'll still be able to activate and get some damage out of this. Venator next round, but this Venator is dead, which means I need to go for the table at this point. Actually got really lucky. Akbar rolled kind of low on this Venator. There was a chance it could have died this round. And in fact, next round, I do go with this Venator first, and I fly in closer to Akbar, and then Akbar rolls to kill it because it's at 1 health, and he's got nothing else that really has a shot against it. With 2 shields, the squads can't kill it. So Akbar has to shoot this Venator, and Akbar rolls like 10, 12 damage. So absolute overkill coming up. But this is the end of round 3. As you can see, knowing that I'm going to need a table because this is dying, the Peltas are going to have to come in for chip damage. This assault frigate is going speed 3, so unless it gets a token or it has a nav dial queued up, might have trouble staying on the table. So we'll go to the end of the next round. Oh no, partway through round 4. So this is after the Venator dies. It did get a SPHA-T shot off, and most importantly, I should have pointed out that Gazanti that was up and to the left. It did get a side shot on that and managed to one-shot the GR75. Excuse me. And during the game, he's like, "Oh, Neal said I'm in trouble now because the GR75 was supposed to give a nav token to the assault frigate to help slow it down, because apparently it's confires queued up on this." And speaking of confires, this CR90 had one, and as such, going speed 3, it couldn't stay on the board. So the CR90 flies off. All that's left keeping Neal on the board is this assault frigate. And he said that he was probably in trouble here because he didn't have a nav cubed up, he didn't think. So yeah, we're just jumping into the next round. I do keep the Venator on the table. I had an option to do like another click to like double arc this assault frigate, but if I did that, I was pretty sure I wasn't going to stay on the table. So I had a gentler turn, and then I was able to keep on the board here. And this is the maneuver tool. Akbar had another confire lined up and wasn't going to be able to stay on the board as this was only round 5. So there's one more movement after he makes this one here. Even if Akbar had managed to stay on the table, I think we could have killed him with the Peltas, and with this we got rid of the evade. Brace and redirect is all that's left, and it doesn't have a lot of shields left. So even if Akbar had stayed on, it would have been close, but I think we could have maybe got there. And that is the game. It ended up with losing the Venator. It ended up with 262 MOV, so I got the 9-2. for 20 tournament points in the pod. I actually came top in the pod, just over Paul, who beat me. I beat him by like 100 MOV. I don't have it up in front of me right now, but regardless, I surprised myself that we even made it out. It was very close. Rasprodius just didn't make the cut this way. I honestly feel kind of bad about this. I'm still getting new to the tournament scenes, and I'm still making some mistakes. So, still got to practice some more, just to make sure I actually put up a good performance in the Swiss. How we do in the Swiss? I was just happy. I'm just happy to get there. We're just gonna have some fun here and see what happens, but don't want to throw any games or anything like that going up ahead. So for the first year of Vassal World Cup, I really enjoyed the pods. All my pod opponents were great to play against. Real Neal was fun to play with. I was good talking to all of them on cons during the games. So I guess with that, I'll make the next video when we start SWAT phase Swiss, the Swiss rounds. So until then, take care.